In the last lesson, we learned the first shape of our major scale for the guitar. We learned a lot of things culminating in the last lesson. We learned that this shape can be moved anywhere on the fretboard, and it's still the major scale. It just changes its name depending on where you play it. So for example, if you play it on the 10th fret, that's a D major scale. If we play it on the 7th fret, that's a B major scale. If we play it on the 12th fret, way up here, that's an E major scale. We also learned that within this scale shape, the root note appears 3 times throughout the scale. On the lowest string, the highest string, and of course, one of the 2 middle strings, the D string. We learned that there are 3 root notes in this shape, no matter where you play it on the fretboard. This makes this a movable shape. Going forward into today's lesson, today's shape is also a movable shape. The shape that you will learn today can also be moved anywhere on the fretboard and changes in name only based on the root notes. So, for example, G major, right? If we want to play a G major, but just slightly higher up on the fretboard, we cannot just take our G major shape and play it up here. If we do that, we have a different scale. We have the A major scale. So we can't move our G major into another position and play it, because it won't be a G major anymore. If we want to play a G major somewhere else, we have to change the shape. For example, today's shape for G here, we have to play a different shape, and that's what we're going to learn moving forward. In total, there are 5 shapes. This is the second. So if you have mastered the first shape and you can play it anywhere and you know the name of it based on the important notes lesson from before, then go ahead and continue to learn this second shape and master this one as well. The second shape. So we'll be using again G for an example. All right. So the first shape we learned is on the 3rd fret. The second shape is going to be up 2 frets, and this shape is a little bit different. It doesn't quite correspond to the 4 fingers, 4 frets rule. We have to stretch a little bit and cover 5 frets with 4 fingers. This might be difficult at first. It's okay. You will get used to it running this scale, practicing this scale. So here is the G major scale second shape. Index finger barring the 5th fret. So this is our kind of home position. Index finger, 5th fret. Ring finger, 7th fret. Pinky finger, 8th fret. Index finger, 5th fret. Ring finger, 7th fret. Pinky finger, we have to stretch a little bit to get to the 9th fret. Index finger, 5th fret. ring finger, 7th fret. Again, stretch our pinky to the 9th fret. Index finger, 5th fret. Ring finger, 7th fret. Index finger, 5th fret. Ring finger, 7th fret. Pinky finger, 8th fret. Index finger, 5th fret. Ring finger, 7th fret. And pinky finger, 8th fret. And this is the G major scale 2nd shape. So again, just like previous lessons, practice slowly this shape alone. Back and forth until you are comfortable and you can go at a relatively smooth, not quick, but smooth pace. And just keep doing that over and over again. And once you've mastered the feel of the shape, once you've gotten used to stretching your pinky finger that extra fret, because this is a little bit different from other exercises that we've done, then feel free to, just like in the other lesson, move this shape around the fretboard to notes that you know. Okay. As you can see, and as you can maybe feel after practicing a few times, this shape is different than the other shape. Because it is different, the root notes are in a different place. Again, just like in the previous lesson with the previous shape, you don't have to learn every note of the scale, but you should learn the root notes. So for this shape, our root notes are on the D string and the B string. For the G major shape, for the G major scale, for this shape, the root notes are on the D string, 5th fret, and the B string, 8th fret. These are the notes G. These where the root notes live. So once you've practiced and memorized the scale, practice and memorize where those root notes are. Kind of start and begin from those root notes. Just like we did for the other shape. It kind of feels natural. So kind of get a feel where those root notes are for both shapes and go back and forth between both shapes. Once you've mastered the second shape, go back and review the first shape and just go back and forth and get really comfortable again with how these shapes are fingered, how these shapes kind of feel, where the root notes are, and get really, really used to them, because again, these shapes and knowing them should be just like breathing. They should be very natural, because later they'll be very useful to use without having to think about them. All right? Happy practice.